Jake Paul versus Daniel Cormier. Jake Paul bought a ticket to UFC 261. He decided to get there early before the main events. Daniel Cormier in attendance noticed him, and the crowd was screaming about Jake Paul. DC said he wanted to slap him. He decided to forget about his color commentating position and go up into the crowd in front of a packed house. Jake Paul recently smashed Ben Askren, and after that, everybody in the fight scene wants to go out there and get an opportunity to smash Jake. DC turned it down, but it looks like after seeing him at UFC 261 that Daniel Cormier really wants it. You gotta ask yourself, why was Jake in attendance at the UFC? What was he doing there, and what does he want? What does Jake Paul want from this? It looks like this is what's gonna happen. Daniel Cormier's lost his last two fights, both to the ex-baddest man on the planet, Stipe Miocic. And Jake Paul beat an ex-MMA champion, Ben Askren, and he did it phenomenally. He put Ben Askren to rest. Ben Askren looked really bad going into that fight. Overweight, he weighed in at 191 pounds, but he didn't look good. Daniel Cormier is a heavyweight. He's a light heavyweight. He was a champion in both divisions. He's a phenomenal Olympic caliber wrestler, but DC right now is an old man. He's 42 years old. Basically, Jake Paul is a kid. He's 24 years old. Two guys at different times in their lives. Jake Paul just started to become a big star in the combat sports scene, and DC's heading out. DC, a legend, is 5'11" tall. Jake Paul 6'1". He would be taller, he'd have a reach advantage, but DC has a world of experience that Jake doesn't have, and DC is a great fighter. Jake Paul doesn't deserve that yet. I can't wait to see this. I think that Daniel Cormier will go out there and smash Jake Paul. The way Daniel Cormier picks up his opponents, he's picked up huge men like Alexander Gustafsson, and basically everybody he's ever fought, he's picked them up, he's slammed them. DC has phenomenal hands, and Jake Paul better watch out. Going into a fight with a UFC champion, a high caliber man like Jake Paul, like Daniel Cormier, is something that you need to earn. Jake Paul hasn't necessarily earned it. He's gotten there because he's a big star. I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, how you feel about a matchup between the legend, true great Daniel Cormier, and the newcomer who's received a tremendous amount of attention, Jake, the problem child, Paul. Does Jake Paul deserve the attention that he's received so far? And in a fight with Daniel Cormier, could Jake Paul go out there and do something that the public wouldn't expect? Could Jake Paul go out there and really make it a fight with DC, or is he a joke? Will Daniel Cormier go out there and prove that Jake Paul's a clown, he doesn't deserve to be there, and he's gonna get smashed? I'm with DC. I think DC, actually, I know DC can do it. It's obvious. DC smashes Jake Paul. He beats him up like the rich kid he is, and devours him. Daniel Cormier obviously wins this fight. It's easy money. Put your money on DC Daniel Cormier.